All right. Let everybody leave Vicky's. Let me turn that off so we don't hear it. Set that aside right now. Ooh. That's weird. These were the pores that I had done. They're too wet to do anything with yet still. But I was just noticing like a little divot in that one. Hi, Lena. Here, there's like a little hole. There's a little spot here on this one too, but that'll get covered up. But this one just developed like a divot. I don't know if you can see, it's just like a little pop of blue, like a hole. So these are too wet. I was going to put what I'm going to do with them is I cut my stencil of Texas out. And this will lay on here. And then I'll put black everywhere. So I can probably avoid, well, it's right where I want it, the Texas in the panhandle. But hopefully that will maybe, as the rest dries, diminish. And I shouldn't have touched it. But we'll see. So that was the 2 pours that I did the other night. Or yesterday. I guess it was yesterday. And then this is the watercolor I did last night when I started out prepping it for this stream. And I drew it. And then Bob and I started watching a movie. And I wanted to try this color. Then I tried that color. I've got some splats up here I didn't catch. I'm going to see if I can minimize those from the rocks. So I've been wanting to do a snow scene. Hi, Janet. Merry Christmas, first of all, to everybody. Let me set this aside. Hi, Joycey, Christy, Eileen, Judy, Lena, Kat. All right, so today what I thought we would do is I'm going to do a project out of this book that Enabler Janet got me to buy by Dana Fox. It's called Watercolor with Me in the Forest. Now, you can actually watercolor in the book, but I didn't want to do that. So what I did was I took the Ladybug, is the one I'm going to work on. She has the pattern over here, but it was a little big, so I just traced here. And then used and drew a leaf for her to sit on. And then added the leaf behind it with graphite. So I'm going to set this sort of to the side where I can see. And this is on Fluid 100 cold press, 8x10, 140-pound watercolor paper, which is about gone. All right. Let's tape that down. Hi, Jan. Hope everybody had a good holiday. It was quiet here. We didn't do anything. Go anywhere or I didn't even eat anything special today. Trying to take some of the stick off this tape before I use it this time to see if that doesn't help with the tearing. Okay. So Shauna and I did talk about this isn't going to work for a setup. It's going to work for what I'm going to use up the rest of the paints. I get too much of a mix of the blues. I mean, it's okay right now. I'm getting a mix of the blues and a mix of the greens and the reds, but they're so close together without compartments. So I'll have to do something else in the long term. But for right now, all right, and I'm going to start with a yellow layer. To the leaf. And most of this is permanent yellow light. Is what I'm grabbing mostly.
Mom in there.
You can open the door.
Oh, did your mom say
Tay-Tay's probably going to come in. All right, Tay-Tay, you want to come up and say hi? Tay-Tay, want to say hi? You want to say hi? The last place she really should be is on the clean, brand new mat. Oh, yeah, now you're going to lay down. Look up so they can see you. Oh, Dad's a good girl. Yeah, she's a good girl. You're Mama's baby, aren't you? She would art on my lap if I would let her. All right, down. Let's go down now. All right. And I'm going to go into green. It's leaf green. Oh, yeah. She is really used to being on me. Okay, this is an olive green. Just working on a base color that I kind of like. Now she wants out. She wants to go in and out. Okay. Thank you, Eileen. Okay, I'm gonna brighten the tip of this. Good. I'm gonna let that dry. I'm get some clean water. And just work on a blue wash in the background. Just use the paper towel to add some texture in there. It's weird. There's some, it's probably cat hair over here. Get that wet. Some pigment. Right, I'm going to dry that real quick. These are the silver black velvet, which I'm having to get used to. I'm not sure I like them, but I'm trying. Okay. There, it's a 12. It's a number 12. The biggest thing for me is the shape of the brush. It's a little longer than the one I like. This is the one I like, which is so old. It's a Crafts, etc. And I have not looked at Joann's to see if they have it. And I think that this holds less water. This holds more water. This is much softer. The tip is what I'm not used to. I'm used to this really rounded tip and not such a point. So I have to say this is still my favorite brush I've ever gotten that I've used for watercolor. I like this one too, which I can't find, which was Eagle Azure. And I like this flat. I've gotten more of those anywhere either, because it's lasted and been a really good brush. And I like the firmness or the spring. Hi, Lori. But I'm trying to force myself to use this shapes in the background. Good, good. I'm glad, Lori. Yeah, it's just different than what I'm used to. All right, so we're going with a crimson red. I think. Let me check something real quick. Yeah. Okay, now we need something that's Indian red, which I don't really have. So I'm just going to use the oxidized quinacridone rust with some of the red. Okay, add a little more of a red to it. Okay. Clean my brush and get a almost dry brush and try to blend some of that. All right, I think that's yeah. I don't know about seeing some in this background, but I did see. I know what she was talking about. It wasn't like a real clear image. It just was very faint. Okay. I'll switch brushes. Oh, that's not going to work either. Okay, so let's try the smaller one. This is a number 4. Just about got all the spots in, or at least the beginning of those. I think there needs to be one right in here. All right. Okay, so there's the body so far. I need to put some red back in here. Yeah, that's probably a little too red in reality. We might add some orange to it in a minute. I'm going by what she has in the book. Trying to leave a highlight sort of in right in that space. Okay. There's just a little, like a sepia color in here. Let that dry. Add some legs, but I'm tempted to add the legs with I was tempted to add the legs and pin work, but this is working, so we'll just go ahead and stick with it for right now. That's what she's got there. All right, that's not bad. All right, so I think what I want to do is I'm going to close this book and move it out of my way. I think I want to add, I almost put that book in that wet painting. I think I want to add some I'm going to add a little orange color to her. All right, and I'm going to all right, I'm just trying to lift some more so I can add some of that bright orange because I like that in there actually. Okay. Hi, Linda. Okay, let's put the paint up and get out the ink tints. We'll let that dry. Ionian green. That might be too dark. All right, I'm gonna color some of this and wet it. Okay, that's not dark enough. Maybe beach green. Yeah, I'll use beach green. We'll try that. All right, so I got a fine point on that. And what I'm going to do is lightly draw in grains. And I want to darken the edge a little. Okay. Okay, so we got some of that in. And then let's take a damp brush and just sort of soften that and move it. Very little. Starting on the background first. All right, I think I want the firmer brush for the edges of this. Hold it up just for a minute. I just want to get those edges there. Okay, and then I'm going to take the pen. So add some of those lines back that I lost. Okay, and then I think I need a little of a shadow. So this is just a little Payne's gray. Gotta get the green back in there now. Has it been acting up today? All right, and then I need black. I'm just putting black on the tip of my brush. Okay, and just like there's 2 black dots there. Okay, I think that's good. I'm missing a pencil somewhere. Okay. I put the gray where the green goes. All right, so then the question is, does it need some spots? Put my legs back in where they've started to disappear. Everything needs spots. Adding some ink lines. Really tiny. All right, so a few watercolor spots in like a greenish black. If you're watching, Jean, look away. Some water out here and get some green. Add some black to that. Okay. All right, then we'll blot them again. Okay. Oh. She's a lone ladybug. But I do want to add some. Green in there. All right. I'm just fussing now and I need to stop. All right, let's heat up the tape. Well, that side did good. Two for two, Shauna. Okay. Didn't tear it. Got all four off without any tears. I don't know if it'll fit in this mat, but we'll see. Oh yeah, it'll fit in one of those. Barely. I put that up. Well, that is probably it for me. Again, the book was Watercolor with Me in the Forest by Dana Fox. And she has Wet on Wet, Wet on Dry. She has the sketches you can watercolor in the book. It's actually, and there's ink and wash, painting fur. These are actually watercolor pages. I'm not sure if Janet painted in her book. I did not paint in mine. I won't paint in mine. What I'll probably do is create patterns from the book and then work on watercolor paper. I started one with a bee and some flowers, but the bee's too big for the flowers and I didn't like it. Yeah, I'm not painting in my book. I just don't want to do that. I figure that way they'll stay as patterns if I ever want to use them for that. Who's streaming next? I don't know. I haven't seen Colleen. She'd be probably the only one we could talk into streaming. I'm going to go find something to eat. I did tell you here, let me show you. I'll go get the book and I'll show you that I'm returning. Here's the book I bought, but I'm returning it. It's called Artful Adventures in Mixed Media. She didn't have enough projects. It is a lot of like where to get inspiration. What I think of as like Art 101 kind of. So it's about everyone can be creative. She talks about supplies, where she gets inspiration, more about supplies. And then again, the second chapter is more about like getting inspiration, like where to go and take pictures. There's a worksheet of like activities to do if you have a hard time coming up with ideas. How she finds like a picture and then maybe creates a stencil, which I know how to cut a stencil. There's not a whole lot about her process and how she layers or does her techniques. It's more about how she gets her inspiration. So yeah, I didn't care for the book, so I'm sending it back. It's not what I thought. I thought it would be more like Fun with Watercolor, where she's talking about her techniques and step-throughs in a project that kind of shows you. And there's a little of that, but not a lot. So for $18, I just was like, I'll just return it. It's not what I was looking for. It's not what I thought it was. So yeah, I mean, I like her art style and but there just wasn't enough in the book. It was too much art theory, getting inspiration, than techniques. So it wasn't anything in there that I felt like I didn't already know or wasn't already familiar with. And some of the things I was interested in her work, she didn't show a step out process of in a very detailed manner. All right. Well, all of you enjoy the rest of your holiday. Don't know if I'll stream tomorrow or not. We'll see. These paintings need to dry before I can clean them and do anything. But this pour's not got any problems. This pour has damage right where it shouldn't be. Right there. So I don't know what I can do about it. And I don't know why it did it. I'm assuming there was maybe a drop of oil that pushed. I mean, it looks like someone took a pencil and stuck a pencil in it. So we'll I'm going to let it dry the rest of the way and see. But it's also right where I want to put the Texas. So we'll see what I can do with it. I might be able to shift the Texas, but it's right where the panhandle is. Unless I possibly turn the canvas and put the Texas like this, or turn it like this. Now that's an idea. I can't lay the stencil on top of it. I can avoid that mark or get it very close to avoiding it if I turn it. So that's maybe what I do. This was old paint, so I wasn't sure what it was going to do. No, it's too dry to torch. It would just bubble and The only thing I might be able to do is add a little paint to it on top of it, or a little clear. I might be able to level it out with some clear gel medium, but I need to have the rest of this can dry to see how it flattens, to see what it does. And I might get some cracks still in here because the paint may have been too thick here in the middle because it was older paint and I added on top of it and I may not have poured enough off the sides. So we'll see. All right, guys, I'm going to go and Janet, are you streaming tomorrow? I don't think so, Joycey. Unless you're turning your camera on. Or Shauna. I haven't seen Colleen. They might have family over.